What's going on, everybody? Welcome to CheckpointXP on campus one more time. Your host, Norris Howard, here alongside Jacob Brothers, the man with the galaxy brain. And right now, we have to go over a new player in the Collegiate Esports space. That's right. FACEIT has joined the chat into Collegiate Esports. Now, if you're unfamiliar with FACEIT has done a litany of tournaments in multiple esports, especially in the CSGO world. They're huge partners with a lot of big tournaments. They have their own tournament. They've done stuff at, DreamHack. They're a huge deal, and they are now entering the college esports space. So, Jacob, we have even more stuff to follow now.
And it will be even more confusing because these are the kings of Counter-Strike organizing. And Counter-Strike organization, it makes me feel like I actually can't read when I try to keep up with all of their different kinds of tournaments because I never know what's what. But FACEIT is organized phenomenally at the same time. Like they have, like people will use FACEIT exclusively with Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, this is our player base. This is where the real gamers are. And they do have like their own like skill ranking system, which is kind of cool. So they have a lot of really good ideas that will no doubt pop up at the collegiate level. And they actually already have done some collegiate stuff. I mean, again, I forget the name of it because, it's a mile long and a bunch of words thrown together. But they did have a tournament last year. Or no, it was in March of this year where Robert Morris won. So yeah. Some of these tournaments have already caught traction. Some have been canceled because of we all know what. And so as this starts to launch, I think it'll probably do pretty well. I'm pretty confident in that take. With CSL blood in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of that, you have Duran Parsi, who is the former executive and founder at Collegiate Star League that is going to be running this particular division. And, it's really interesting because, they say that they're going to have better anti-cheat, matchmaking is going to be on point and everything is going to be sort of closed system. And so it'll be easier for collegiate players to participate in this particular I don't know what to call it, a division.
It is a division. Yeah, the official name is it's the FACEIT Collegiate Esports Division. That's another division that's not tied to any other division.
Yeah, and again, for as much as we love and appreciate having more content and more things to talk about, at the same time, I almost feel like I would prefer if FACEIT just joined with the existing conference. Well, that's the just that world, we'll just run your back end and so I mean, how cool will it be to say, yeah, the FACEIT SEC esports division?
Yeah. No, the perfect world would be to tie all of these divisions together under one roof. Now, that might happen by 2030, but we're not there yet. So we'll just have to struggle for a little while longer, But I think it will be interesting as time goes on to see like which divisions pair up. Yeah, it's not out of the question for like Mountain West to pair up. Maybe someone even like
Pac-12,
big Pac-12 or something, because they're just divisions that are known for D1 schools. So those pairings will probably happen over time. I'm more curious about what these smaller school divisions will do. Like what we like briefly talked about last week of like a lot of these schools are smaller schools, and these D1 schools might feel like, oh, you may be a better gamer, but we can tackle better in football, and they might like not want to play in that crowd, So
yeah, I mean, I would love to see. You know what? I want to see that friction. I want to see the conference of your Maryvilles and Aquinas and Harrisburgs and all those types of schools come up against these big Power 5 schools and really take it to them, man. Because esports is this new frontier, and the traditional sort of strong athletic schools, it doesn't apply, and so
and we haven't really gotten those rivalries yet either.
Exactly, really and so I want to see more of this. And back to the point on FACEIT that I think is really important is that I love anybody coming in and trying to make more structure to this whole thing, but at the same time, I also feel like, good Lord, like it's more. It's just more, and I love that, but it is going to be another thing, and I really hope they have their leaderboards and everything on point.
On that, I think if it's going to be any company that does this kind of organizing, FACEIT's definitely like a top 3. Like they've always been good about their leaderboards. They've been good about here's this file for the tournament. Here are the competitors, all those tabs, because it's a PC client. So like by nature, it's kind of built with those things already in it. So I think dropping college into that won't be very hard, especially because Collegiate Counter-Strike is kind of on the lower end of popularity, which is weird compared to Counter-Strike being on the top end of professional popularity.
Yeah.
So having someone like FACEIT behind it to push it into the forefront, and even FACEIT like on Twitch themselves is really popular, have a big following. They could probably get a lot of schools on the map, which will be really cool to see.
Yeah, I hope so. And that's the biggest point, is that what I hope comes out of this is that we see a couple schools that maybe have, slipped through the cracks, really emerge and begin to be known as esports powerhouses. But the last thing is that we don't know what schools are involved quite yet. This thing is very much so in this infancy stage, but we will be tracking that and trying to get a hold of anybody we can from FACEIT, because they are going to go head up against Collegiate Star League and create. I mean, maybe that's what the drama will be. Maybe the drama will be, maybe the drama will be like CSL versus FACEIT finals.
Well, we're
for the national championship. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, well, we're so lucky to have these kind of storylines now in this era, to be like, oh, the CEO of a different collegiate esport organization is now going to another organization to launch their collegiate esport organization. And like, most people would probably be like, who cares? But for us, it's like, it's kind of cool that we can actually say that now, instead of where do we go on Twitch to watch a match? We are progressing very quickly.
Very quickly.